Right, so over Christmas I intended to put out 2 videos, and I had a little bit of a problem with that, which is why you haven't heard from me for a little while. So what I didn't realise was that YouTube monitors everything we say. Like even now, this discussion is being monitored, the words I use. So I didn't realise that. And what I had said in the in these 2 videos were I'd mentioned a few people's names and keywords that YouTube had picked up on, and I uploaded the video as I always do, and it said there was no issues with the video. So when it come to releasing them over Christmas, because what I intended to do was record a couple of videos before Christmas and release them over the Christmas period, because I knew I might have bad internet and I might not be able to get videos out. So I've pre-recorded these videos, stored them on YouTube, waiting for the release date. And when it come to releasing them, they failed to release because it said content wasn't suitable. So YouTube had basically banned not banned them, but withheld the videos, or something along those lines. Anyway, I deleted the videos because I wasn't going to put out videos on YouTube that was going to cause me any, or to cause the channel any aggravation. So that's why we didn't get any videos out over Christmas. But Christmas has gone really well. New Year has all gone okay. And yes, so far I'm parked up in the near the Lancaster town centre, not far out of town. Simply because a lot of the roads in the Lake District are iced up, and I don't really want to get stuck down a little mountain road or slide off the road, damage me van or anything like that. So I'm sort of in townish a little bit, on the outskirts of town. And I've got me, I don't know if you can see that, I think you'll be able to see that behind. I've got the screen covers on, and it makes it look really dark in here. I don't really like putting them on because it makes it look really dark and I can't see outside. But I've got the cameras running here. So a little while back I made a video saying about van life without heaters and winter van life. I think there's a picture of like a snowy, my van in the snow up at Mamtor or somewhere. And from that video I got a little bit of stick saying, well, some people saying that you don't need to have heaters on, and other people saying that winter van life isn't difficult at all, it's actually better. And in some ways, yeah, I do agree. I like winter van life in the fact that it means that there's less people about. So I'm not having people parking up next to me, and I've got a bigger choice of park ups. I can go places and not be parked up near other people. But one of the issues I've got with winter van life, and the reason why I said winter van life is harder than any other time, is because of the winter seasons. And I'm going to just show you now. I've got, like, I parked up here last night, and when I parked up I had full batteries, everything was fully topped up. So I've been here, it's now, what is it, 2:30, coming up 20 past 2. So I've been here for not even 24 hours yet, and I've used, I don't know if you can see that there, I'll put a screenshot up of what I'm showing you, but I've used up 39 amp hour in less than 24 hours. So I'm at the moment, I've got the diesel heater on. I'm using 3.5 amps. So I just want to show you around the van what I'm actually running and why I'm using up 3.5 amps. Okay, so I've got the dash cam running here. I've got that. I've got a single light on there that I could turn off if I wasn't recording this video, so I wouldn't normally have that off, but I want to show you what it's like with that light off. Okay, so this is what it would be like without the light. Yeah, so yeah, so quite dull and dark, not very pleasant, but I'll put that back on. Right, so what we got on over here, I've got the diesel heater running, and I've got my internet running. I haven't got the CCTV on, and that is all we have. So very minor, other than the light and heating. And I made a big effort there to say heating, because I know one of my subscribers gets a bit angry at me not pronouncing my H's correctly. Yeah, to me this is basic. This is basic living. Having a warm van, having some lighting, being able to make a cup of tea, and maybe watch a bit of YouTube on your phone. I have a laptop, but I rarely use the laptop because it uses more power. I normally watch YouTube on my phone, and that's about it. I'm not running anything else. I'm not having luxury. I'm not playing music. I'm not watching TV. So what else could I cut out? I mean, do I really want to turn my heating off and be cold and sit here with a coat on? I mean, I've already got a jumper on. So do I want to turn my lights out and sit here in the dark? I don't really want to do that. I don't want to do that. I want to live a reasonable existence. So I want to be, even though I'm in a van, I want it to be sort of comfortable for me. So if you're saying van life is easy in winter and you're going to forego all those luxuries, then is it really an enjoyable experience to be in the van? For me, it wouldn't be. So that's why I want to have some sort of reasonable lifestyle. Anyway, so yeah, the temperature outside says it's 2 degrees. Inside my van, without any heater on, it is around 10 degrees inside this van. In Sue's van, on the other hand, because it's a self-build and insulation isn't quite as good, then her van is currently around 6 or 7 degrees. So yeah, I don't really want to sit here in a freezing cold van. So I think I would rather run the heater and use up a bit of power and then have to drive around for a bit, because that's the other option. I can't really run a generator, and I can't really run it here because of the noise. I don't like running it myself, but I do occasionally. I normally go and find like a lorry lay-by and then drop the generator in behind the bushes or behind the dry stone wall and run a cable over the wall into the van so that it's sort of out the way behind the edge row. And that's the way I sort of do it. And if there's other lorries parked up nearby, they've got their diesel heaters running and stuff like that, so it ain't too bad. They normally have fridges running occasionally, so it ain't too bad to sort of charge it up in those sort of places. But I dislike using it. And yeah, to say that winter van life isn't any harder, it's actually easier, I say it's not. I mean, just getting power now becomes an issue, because I've now got to drive for God knows how long. If I don't use the generator, it will take hours of driving. It'll probably take like 3-4 hours of driving. I think that's what a lot of people don't realise, that 40 amp hour, putting 40 amp back into the van, even though I've got a 50 amp hour B2B, you don't get 50 amps constantly out of it, because the van doesn't produce that amount of ampage. So I'm roughly getting about 25-30 amps from my B2B, which is a Victron B2B. And so yeah, what I'm basically saying is, I could sit, it's raining outside, 2 degrees, muddy, wet, horrible, and I could sit here without no lights and no heating on. But then van life isn't going to be what I want from it. I'm going to be struggling a little bit, both I guess mentally wise, because I ain't doing this to prove that I can survive. This is not a survival challenge to me. This is everyday living. So being sort of reasonably comfortable, even though I'm living the van life, which everyone seems to want to do, it's not a survival challenge. So I don't want it to be. I want to be comfortable. if that makes sense. So yeah, that's basically what I'm saying. Anyway, I do intend the videos that were stopped, withheld by YouTube, I do intend to make those videos, and I've just got to rethink about how I say certain things, and I'll see if I can get those put together without mentioning what I want to mention. It becomes ridiculous that people can't say what you want to say anymore, and that's, I think, why I bring up a lot of the stuff that I bring up on this channel, because if you can't really talk about anything, I mean, at what point is it going to get to the point where I can't start mentioning the word van life, because it encourages other people to join and buy motorhomes and become a van lifer? I mean, that's the way I see it. You should be able to say people's names without getting any comeback from YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, or whatever else. And the whole of society at the moment, it is really shocking, and I don't know where it's going to go from here. Like, from the following years, we're now in 2025. And the further we get towards 2030, the worse it's going to become. So what do we do? Do I continue just talking about van life and about heaters and solar power and totally ignore what's going on around me in the world? Is that the way forward? I don't think so myself. Because even though I'm living in a van, I've still got outside influences, if you get what I mean. I still see what's going on in the news, and if they're suggesting that we're all going to move into like 15-minute cities and do away with our vans, and we're all going to buy electric vehicles and stuff like that, I've got something to say about it, and I hope you guys have too. And I'm going to resist for as long as I can. And I just want to say that if it does become where I can't drive my van and we are forced into 15-minute cities or whatever, I won't be living in an house still. I think I'll be looking at the route of a backpack and a tent, or a tarp in a hedgerow along the roadside, because I will not conform back to the way society expects me to go. And I guess it'll be a bit of a guerrilla type affair where I'll be hiding away and become more stealth. So yeah, I guess we just have to all sit down and think about what's happening in the future and how we protest and what we can do about it. Because if we don't do nothing about it, we're all basically stopped from saying anything, aren't we? And that's not the way it needs to go. Yeah, okay, right, so I'm going to go make another cup of tea, have a look, see why the heater is not getting hot, because I'm still cold. And that's it for now. Thanks for joining me. I'm going to make those videos regardless of what YouTube said about the last ones. I'm going to remake them and I'll have my say, but I'll just need to rephrase them in a different way. So stay tuned for that.